Good evening. I'm Christopher Sullivan-Diaz. Our Sports Seeker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Nebraska softball two-way player Hannah Camenzin earned Big Ten Pitcher of the Week honors, the conference announced on Monday. Camenzin was 2-0 in the circle last weekend and helped lead the Huskers to their first ever undefeated Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. The 5 wins included 2 victories over ranked opponents and 3 run rules. In Seattle, Britt Prince's three-pointer with 7 seconds left lifted Nebraska to a 66-65 road win in Washington on Sunday at Alaska Airlines Arena. The sophomore point guard from Omaha finished with a game-high 22 points while adding a team highs of 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals in a tremendous all-around effort to help the Huskers snap a 6-game losing streak, all against NCAA NET top 25 teams. Finally, the number 6 Nebraska bowling team placed third at the Big Red Invitational, going 8-5 over the 3-day event, with a pinfall of 13,951 and a 205.2 average. Our Sports Seeker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Our One of Sports Nightly is up next right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rebound, Nebraska. Here comes Hoiberg off that board from Garcia. Off to Sanford. This would be a career high. Got it! Career high 33. Bryce Sanford rings the bell. Bang! Bang!
Prince will come out and take it with 14 seconds to go. Huskers trailing by 2. Prince against Sellers, who has 4 fouls. He'll take a 3. You betcha! A CDA 3 for Britt to give Nebraska the lead. I said you want Prince taking the shot, and she did it. She's got 22, and the Huskers have the lead in Seattle.
Nord whips it in. Swing and a ball ripped in the air. Pretty deep right field. Stutzer goes back, looks, it's off the wall. It careens free into right center field. How fast can Overbeek and Carey run? Overbeek scores. The relay home. It is not in time. Inside the park. Home run. Dylan Carey, have yourself a day.
2 outs, so they'll be running on the crack of the bat. 1-1 from Munnerlyn. And Fromm blasts it. Deep left field. She is good. A 3-run home run for Jordy Fromm. 8-1 Huskers.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, happy Monday. What a weekend. And how about some Kyle Crooks baseball highlights in the Montage Open?
I forgot what it sounded like to hear my voice. But no, it was great. It was an awesome road trip. Shout out Nick Hanley, absolute pro on and off the air, showing me the ropes on the road. Shout out to Coach Bolt, just very nice, very welcoming to me on the road trip. I know he's very close to Greg, as they all were on with baseball, but just shout out to everybody. I know it was frustrating on Friday and Saturday. Those were games they felt like they could win. Yesterday was fun, though. I don't think anybody expected them to beat Florida State 10-1.
You get a shout out, and you get a shout out. And how about I get a shout out for doing the show on Thursday when I was stuck in weather?
So Jessica Coody texted me on Thursday that she was telling me about the Mission Impossible that it took to get in the studio on Thursday with, I guess, because we just got out of town.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 1 to 3 inches of snow. Apparently we got 8. So Jessica got in just in time to do the show.
Shout out Chris.
And Christopher Sullivan-Diaz, who not only produced that show and had all sorts of issues getting out, he also had to work Friday's baseball game and do like an hour-and-a-half post-game show just to stretch before we got Coach Bolt. So both of you, kudos to both of you.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to start because lots to talk about. I guess baseball. Let's start there because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So disappointing, right? Because you have a couple of ranked teams and you handle Florida State, which what a win on Sunday. But the 2 losses, and you kind of talked about this, but Coach Bolt was not happy. But the Huskers completely in control, especially over Louisville for a long time. And I think they showed very much that they have the pieces to be able to compete. But I think because there's no moral victories, they're pretty disappointed that they were not able to pull those wins out.
Yeah, especially Friday, I would say. You led for most of that one. First two games, situationally, the team wasn't great. So runners in scoring position, runners on. You had on Friday big hits from Dylan Carey and Cole Kitchens. And again, you got it to the back end of your bullpen. I think the good thing is all three games, you had representative efforts from your starters. Ty Horn was great on Friday. Carson Yassa was pretty solid on Saturday. Probably got behind in counts more than he wanted, but his stuff is what it is. It's plus stuff. He's going to always have high strikeout totals, high swing and miss rate. And then the surprise of the weekend was on Sunday with Gavin Blachowicz when, you just want to find a way to win one game at that point on Sunday after the two frustrating games. Coach Bolt, pretty frustrated on Friday night because they made a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes on Friday and Saturday. And then it came down to just getting a big swing. Sometimes you recruit guys because they're good at baseball and they can find that clutch swing or make that clutch play defensively, and lacking just finishing games in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the fact that you came into Florida State with the idea of we need to get something out of this weekend from a resume building factor when it comes to May. And Florida State is, of course, number 16 team in the country. They had a couple of injuries in their lineup, but representative lineup for sure. They faced, coming out of the bullpen, somebody who we thought was sick, but he's probably going to be one of their Saturday or Sunday starters, and just put together great at-bats. Was their best game start to finish, and even adding the extra aspect of how they needed to do it because of the pressure of you let Friday slip, you let Saturday slip, and you need to get something out of this weekend, and they did that and much more.
Denny in Omaha said, I've been listening to games on the radio since 1955, and I really enjoyed your calls of the baseball games.
Thank you, Denny. That's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, and you talked about it, and hey, another big weekend coming up this weekend with a chance to continue to build the resume, and you got a big challenge coming up this weekend that you'll be on the call for again.
Yeah, me and B. Mac will be there. Number 7 Auburn, who actually was in that event that we were at, and they swept through the field. They were the best team in the field. Top 10 team, picked, I think, 4th or 5th in the SEC, which is the best league in baseball, in college baseball this year. Just looking at their lineup, just starting the prep on them, very good weekend rotation. But my thing is, again, you want to win the series, but can you steal one this weekend? That's not the way Will Bolt's looking at it. It's not the way Nebraska's looking at it. It's the way that from a media broadcaster perspective, can you find one of those games to help build your resume? It's tough to win there against that team and that ballpark early in the year. As Nebraska continues, they got to define roles a little bit in the bullpen, especially on the back end. I think they have a lot of great arms. They're a lot deeper in terms of what they could present, possibly in a Sunday starter. Could it be Gavin Blachowicz? We saw Cooper Katsky for the first time. They need to figure out their closer role. But I know this. They have 3 guys they're going to throw out there, whether it's Katsky or Blachowicz on Sunday, but a Friday and Saturday guy that they're going to throw out there that they expect when those guys pitch, they're going to give you a chance to win, and they're going to put you within striking distance. And I think they got enough bats in the lineup to win a couple games in Auburn. And if they do, it's going to make some noise.
Should be exciting. And speaking of building the resume, talk about some resume building wins. Husker softball absolutely dominated in the Mary Nutter Classic over the weekend. 5 wins and outscoring opponents 45-3. And these are teams that are again ranked in the top 15 and teams in the SEC that are going to continue to win and going to continue to look good on this resume. And you were talking with me at lunch at the training table.
Ding.
Ding, ding. You got, Christopher.
Does Christopher know we have the bell sound effect?
I think so. I think he helped Camden.
Okay.
But at the training table today, we were talking about this, and you think that they're absolutely getting to the point where they're going to not just host a regional, but potentially a super regional.
I think that's the goal. From their roster, they have the depth in pitching now. With Alexis Jensen and what she does, Hannah Camazin throws a no-hitter, right? Yeah. So you throw that in there. I think they have depth of pitching. They clearly have depth of lineup, right? And now you're getting Ava Kuzak, who's starting to pick up offensively, which we knew she would. Hannah Core, who you bring in from a national champion, who's starting to pick up offensively with the team that was already putting up a sizable number of runs. And Jordy Fromm continues to do what she does. I just think, and is there an SEC bias in some of these selection processes? Probably in softball, just because it's televised and you see a lot more of it, and there's not the paywall there is with Big Ten Plus and all that. So you see a lot more games in the SEC. But I think from a star power perspective, I think Nebraska is, when it comes down to the selection process and they have the resume they do, that they will get the benefit of the doubt, because I think stars matter in this sport. And to be a top 8 seed, Nebraska has gone out and done everything from a non-conference scheduling perspective to put themselves in position. It's one thing to schedule. It's another to win. And now they're starting to win these games. You run rule South Carolina 9-1. You beat up on Texas A&M, who was the number 1 overall national seed last year.
Yeah.
You've beat not one, but 2 different number 1 teams in the country, including a generational team in Texas Tech. You've already beaten LSU. You've done a number on the SEC, and you've beaten 2 number 1 teams. To me, they are a team that is a super regional host. That is the expectation.
And again, you've got they've needed to do this because the Big Ten is not necessarily a conference that is going to keep you like the SEC. You talk about it, and your RPI in softball is going to continue to grow and stay right up there every single weekend. But the Big Ten, unfortunately, is not there, and it hurts the ball bat sports a lot of times when you get into conference play. So a lot of times they schedule very tough.
And that's why baseball was angry on Friday and Saturday.
Right. And so, that's kind of what you have to do. Now, Nebraska does have UCLA, which will help the cause, but they've got another big weekend coming up this weekend. Oklahoma State is another one of those teams that, in the eyes of the college softball world, is a perennial power, is always in the College World Series, Women's College World Series. And I know that there's multiple polls, and maybe not the one everyone considers, but the one that came out today has them ranked number 13. I think it's Softball America. And whether or not it's the legitimate one everyone uses or not, they usually all have the same teams in the top 25. So, again, Oklahoma State is going to be a top 25 team. So here's another chance to continue to add to that resume that we're talking about, with Oklahoma State coming up on Thursday and Saturday, which we are going to put the Thursday game here on the network on Thursday. So we're excited about that. But another big weekend here coming up for Husker softball.
Yeah, they have them Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. They have them 3 games this week. So essentially you're playing a whole series against Oklahoma State with a couple of non-conference doubleheader or at a conference doubleheader, South Dakota State and Tulsa in between that. So Kenny Gajewski, I kind of know that program pretty well because I've seen them a couple times in Oklahoma City. They're just as much of any program in the last 5 to 7 years consistently a World Series team. Now, I can't sit here and say that I know everything about Oklahoma State, but I know this. They're a top 15 team currently. He recruits at an incredibly high level. They do really well in the transfer portal. And now, if you win 2 of 3, even just win 1 of those games, but if you win 2 of 3 of those games, you're doing it on their home field, right? So that's bonus points. That's going to help your RPI as well, because you're going to a true road game and win 2 out of 3 against Oklahoma State. Again, it's going to bolster what you do. And then I was sort of looking through the Big Ten schedule. Michigan is usually a team that's borderline top 25. That could probably help you. And then UCLA is the big one. So outside of those 2 in the Big Ten, your strength of schedule is probably going to take a hit. That's why it's so important, like you said, what they're doing in the non-conference and how important this weekend and how it continues to be, how they trend in the right direction, specifically in those 3 games against Oklahoma State.
Okay, so one more weekend on the road, and then guess what? They are finally at home inside Bowlin Stadium. So a week from this Thursday, they will be here. So
hopefully the weather's good.
Huskers.com/tickets. I know I've been asked a lot about, hey, when are they home? When are they home? When can we see them? And so it's finally, they hit the road for the first month, and they have to do this. All the big time college softball programs do. They don't play at home for basically the first month because the premier college softball tournaments, the ones that you want to be playing in, are on the coast, basically in Florida and California, and so that's where you want to be. You want to challenge yourself, you want to build your resume. So, but they are finally going to be home coming up a week from this weekend. So Huskers.com/tickets to get those, be a part, because I think those tickets are going to go really fast the more that this team continues to win.
Yeah, and don't be late. Like, hop on that bandwagon now. It's not hard to hop on a bandwagon that's a winner.
Yeah.
So see one of the best players that'll ever put on a Husker uniform. That's full stop right there. See one of the best players that'll ever put on these colors in Jordy Fromm in her final season, because it is truly trending to be one that's special.
Well, again, we'll talk some hoops coming up. We have our Nebraska men's basketball hour with the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, coming up in hour number 2. So we'll talk about the win over Penn State. Huge win for Nebraska women's basketball. Want to chat with chat with Kyle about that here coming up in just a few minutes. So we'll dive into that as well. But coming up next, going to hear from our the president, Dr. Jeffrey Gold, as we have periodic check-ins here throughout the spring. It is time for one of those here. That is coming up next here on Sports Nightly. So we will have all the catch-ups on what's going on across the UNL system coming up next. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The Honda Accord from Woodhouse Honda is more than just a reliable sedan. It's your everyday upgrade. Lease the 2025 Honda Accord LX for $199 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Shop in-store or online at woodhousehonda.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $3,000 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250127. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody and excited to once again be joined by the University of Nebraska System President, Dr. Jeff Gold, joining us here on Sports Nightly, as he is going to continue to do here throughout this spring semester, keeping us up to date on all the things happening here across the University of Nebraska System. Thank you for being here with us once again.
It's always a pleasure. What are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, I'm going to ask you again, because we always do, about sports, and how about the softball season. Coach Ravel did not leave things easy for this team to start the season off. Boy, they are in the best of the best tournaments here to start the season, but what an exciting start. And this is an exciting team and should be an exciting season.
Well, I agree with all of those. Certainly had a phenomenal year last year. Coach is an amazing leader, and I'm really, really looking forward to this season. I know that the team is, they're aiming for another championship year. And I have every confidence that we'll all be celebrating that together. I hope to join many of our fans, both here locally. And, last year I had a chance to be on the road with the team a couple of times, and equally exciting. It just seems every time one of our teams goes on the road, just to, digress for a minute, I was in Chicago not too long ago with my grandchildren, and it just happened to be that the men's basketball team was playing in Evanston. And so we took a ride up there, and let me just say there was a ton of red, and Go Big Red was just as loud, if not louder, than the Go Cats. And, of course, we won.
And I'm sure you're expecting more record-breaking crowds out there at Bolin Stadium again this spring.
Oh, absolutely. The excitement, again, about women's sports in Nebraska and the success of our team speaks for itself.
Well, I understand that the University of Nebraska also recently announced the formation of a new university-wide institute. What will its focus be?
So this is exciting for us as well. The newspapers and the evening news are just full of information about what's called artificial intelligence. Now, this artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence has been around for a really long time and continues to grow with advances in software and hardware. However, when ChatGPT hit the market, it really created a national level of awareness that really not only created opportunities in healthcare, in academics, in business, but also created risk as well because, first of all, people didn't fully understand what its capabilities are, and it does continue to evolve. But secondly, sometimes it produces information that may not be completely accurate either. And for those of us that use it, we've experienced that as well. So it's very important that all universities, which are now confronting what to do with artificial intelligence, I think ought to have an organized approach. So we are establishing an institute, working very hard to put the pieces together that'll be focused on the use of what's called generative and agent artificial intelligence. And that has everything to do from software and hardware to machine learning, has everything to do with how we equip our undergraduate and graduate students with expertise and the skill sets that they need, the practice to use it to their advantage and not be caught in a way that it's not really helping them but could be hindering them. At the same time, we need to look at all of our business practices because these are types of software applications that can really make things faster more secure. I'm really excited, particularly, given my background about what it's going to do in healthcare. I am completely convinced it's going to improve access, reduce cost, and increase accuracy in diagnosis and treatment. We get into situations in healthcare not infrequently where patients have multiple different physicians, all of whom may be prescribing medications for them. And so if you have, 4 different healthcare providers who are prescribing meds, and who's worrying about the interaction between those meds? Hopefully your pharmacist is, which is something they do extremely well. But, think about it. If there was a single software application that could say, if you're on drug A, maybe you should reduce the dose of drug B or try drug C or something of that nature. And so for all those types of reasons, I'm really excited about this institute. Another piece of it, though, that is important that I really was quite insistent on is that there be a solid focus on the ethics of the use of artificial intelligence or even the abuse. First of all, the accuracy is not always 100%, as we said. The phrase is that it hallucinates. When I went to medical school, hallucination had a different meaning, but now it really means what happens when AI gives you the wrong answer. But, there are biases that are present within AI systems because they only rely on historical data, and there are potential for abuse of it as well. So I want to be sure we go into it full throttle to take advantage of the benefits of it, but at the same time that we're very cognizant of what the risks are and what the abuses may be.
Great stuff. Well, the university also recently announced the search for a permanent chancellor for the University of Nebraska Medical Center campus up there in Omaha. What can you tell listeners about that process?
Well, that's a job that I know well, having sat in that chair for 10 and a half years, as well as other chairs at UNO and in the provost's office here in Lincoln. And when I stepped into the role of becoming the 9th president of this university, I still look in the mirror in the morning and say, "You really the president of this great university system? How does a kid who grew up, in the inner city of New York ever do that?" But that left a huge vacancy, and we asked Dr. H. Daly Davies, who was the senior vice chancellor for academic affairs, to step in that role, and he's been in that role for just over 18 months. And we were working very hard to get the accreditation of the University of Nebraska Lincoln campus and Med Center campus changed by the Higher Learning Commission so that we have an integrated accreditation between the two. And now that is done. It's been not only approved by the Higher Learning Commission, but it's been fully now approved by the Department of Education. And so we thought in consultation with the regents that this is the right time to move ahead and find a permanent chancellor. And so here we are. We're named a search committee, hired a search firm, and going to do a search and find a rock star to fill that role.
All right. Well, I also understand that there are some big changes coming to the Lead Center for Performing Arts right here in Lincoln. What do our listeners need to know about the recently announced expansion there?
Well, this is also a very exciting project. The Lead Center is clearly one of the crown jewels for public entertainment in partnership with the University of Nebraska. I've not only attended numerous events there, but had the privilege of being part of some of them. I remember we had the honor of introducing the Ukrainian orchestra to the audience here. That was a lot of fun. We actually celebrated Johnny Carson's 100th birthday at the Lead Center not too long ago. And this is an opportunity to improve the facilities, more space for the guests, more space for performance as well. I believe it's completely or nearly completely funded by private philanthropic investments, which makes it even nicer. Yes, there are going to be some orange cones around the building for a while, and you're going to see some cranes and trucks and things of that nature, maybe even kick up some dust and make some noise. But the Lead Center will be markedly improved. I've had the opportunity to look at the plans and the renderings of what the inside will be and what the outside will look like. And not just the city of Lincoln, but the whole state will be markedly benefited by this change.
All right, well, before we let you get out of here, I wanted to ask you about something that I know is very near and dear to you. February is National Heart Month, a nationwide observance that spotlights cardiovascular disease. And I'd love for you to share with our listeners and viewers about your background, a little bit more about your background as a pediatric heart surgeon and what they need to know during this important month.
Yeah, sure. Many in our audience know that for decades of my life, I practiced medicine and dealt with heart disease every day. A lot of my practice was with kiddos with heart disease, and unfortunately, newborn heart disease, due to lack of normal development of the heart, is one of the most common congenital defects and is actually rising in frequency as opposed to falling, which would be true of several other types of congenital defects. But I think the most important message is really to the adults in our community, and that is that heart disease and stroke are the #1 killer in the United States. They have been for as long as I can remember, and while we're doing a much better job at preventing and treating these diseases, the prevalence just continues to be #1. Now, interestingly, cancer continues to rise, and cancer may exceed heart disease because we are making gains in heart disease, and we're not making quite the same rate of change in cancer. There's a tremendous amount of cancer here in Nebraska, particularly pediatric cancer, as our audience may know. But talking about heart disease and the #1 killer, most of that is what we call atherosclerotic or coronary artery disease. So that's your typical heart attack or stroke that we're all unfortunately familiar with. I'm guessing there are very few Nebraska families that either don't have a family member living with heart disease or tragically lost a family member from heart disease. Certainly in my family, there's a long history of it as well. The bad news is that there are genetic traits that you're born with that you can't change. You know, if your father and your grandfather and your great-grandfather all had heart disease at an early age, likely that's going to persist. The good news is, and the most important news, is that that is not inevitable. And that is, individuals need to take control of their lifestyle in order to prevent the long-term complications and even the sudden death associated with heart disease. And that includes things like tobacco use, and one of the main predictors, management of diabetes and prediabetes, diet, and being very aware of, how much high-density lipoproteins, fats that are in your diet. Blood pressure control, another major predictor of heart disease and stroke. It used to be that, you go for your annual physical and your healthcare professionals say, this is your lipid number and this is your blood pressure, and it's a little too high and maybe you ought to take these medications for it. But it's now been shown that these medications not only just reduce blood pressure or give you better control of your blood sugar or your, the statins that are so helpful around your cholesterol and your other lipids, but it's been shown now that they markedly reduce the incidence of heart attack and stroke, and they markedly reduce death rates. In some of the most important studies in individuals who have had a heart attack or a stroke, when you aggressively control their diet, their exercise, you get their lipids down and their blood pressure down, you have a very significant chance of enhancing their survival, almost back to normal, which, that's a remarkable fact. So, it's not a kind of thing where you just sort of give up. And by the way, the focus on this can't start in your 60s, It's got to start in your 20s with a healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, and healthy monitoring of your lipids, your blood pressure, your sugars, and things of that nature. So every February, I always have the opportunity to share some of my thoughts at the American Heart Association galas, which are, of course, fundraising events. The Heart Association does a great job of supporting awareness, training, research, etc. But it just can't be February. We make New Year's resolutions in January. We usually forget them by February or something else has changed. But February is a time to remind everybody that heart disease is something we can and should manage, and we can live longer, happier lives without it.
Dr. Gold, great stuff as always. We'll look forward to you checking back in March. Can you believe it? Next time we chat will be March.
It'll be March Madness.
I love it. I love it. Best time of the year. Again, that is President Dr. Jeff Gold here with us on Sports Nightly. Got to step aside for a break. More of the show coming up right after this.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path, Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and 45 minutes into this, and we're just now able to talk about basketball.
Yeah, why not? We've had a lot.
That kind of year, or that time of year where it's just everything is going on. It's going to be a busy weekend for the guys here in studio.
Yeah. Josh, we mentioned Christopher and Camden were in here I think Camden might have slept here one of the days. I think you were close at one point to having to sleep here on Thursday.
Thank goodness my parents were on their way up because they were able to pick me up and take me home because I was not going to be. I was probably going to.
So you had a literal push that you needed on a bridge. You got stuck. I
was stuck on the bridge that in front of, the bridge that goes up in front of the Devaney Center.
Mm-hmm.
Then you turn to get to the stadium. I was stuck on that
bridge. Have we identified the good Samaritan? That's
no, and if you're listening, if you know it, whoever it is, I don't know. Thanks for giving me a push.
Do they know they helped the Jessica Coody?
I doubt it. I think they were pretty annoyed that I was blocking traffic.
So they just took care of it themselves. They literally pushed a 1,000-pound vehicle.
It was me or the two trucks in the other lane, and you get me going, then it freed up the lane.
Okay.
So
you were just in his way. He wasn't really doing you a favor.
Well, I was in everybody's way.
Okay.
There's a lot of people backed up behind me.
I think there were a lot of people in a lot of people's way.
Yeah. It was a mess. But it took me an hour and a half, and I thought surely, I was telling Josh I was editing the interview with Alexis Jensen and getting it posted and everything. It just was kind of one of those couple of days where I had just a million things going on. It was one right after another. And I was sitting on my countertop because I was checking on Sunny, and it was 20 minutes. And I was on my laptop, and then I turned around, and I said, oh, my goodness, I better go. It was like that quickly that the snow came on, and then it was so backed up, and I thought, this is probably a bad idea. But I'm like, I'm in this thing. I'm in this. Let's go. And so I made it. It was the closest I think I've ever cut it
and
for a show.
We were this close to a full 2 hours of Christopher Sullivan Diaz.
Yeah, I tried to get him to just take over, but he was...
he was just waiting for you. As he was talking, you ran in.
I was sprinting through the blizzard across campus.
One day we'll have a full 30 for 30 on that day.
That was... Oh, my gosh. I was the most stressful hour, I think, one of the most stressful hours of my life.
But you got it. You got it done.
Just being scared, being in the car, being stuck on a bridge, and then knowing that the show was live and you weren't here, and it was like, what are we going to do? And yeah, it was anyways, but it was that night ended up being a tough night for Nebraska women's basketball. Just they had the lead. They just go cold in the fourth quarter, and I was kind of thinking, gosh, what kind of response are we going to see on Sunday? And boy, they came out in a big way, picked up a huge win. And you're talking about a team now that is still very much in the conversation of making the NCAA tournament. They had to have that win yesterday to be able to continue to be in the conversation without going on a big run in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, about as close to a must-win as you could have. From a resume standpoint, it seems like that win did help them. It looks like they're now back in the picture to being in the field of the NCAA tournament. Now, you can't now build off of that moment and lose against a struggling Rutgers team, because that could be significantly detrimental to your hopes to getting into the tournament. So the thing is here, you have to take care of business on Saturday. Saturday, right, is their next game.
Yes.
Rutgers at home.
Yep.
Correct?
Senior day.
Senior day. You have to win that game, and it will help to get a blowout win, get some confidence going into the Big Ten tournament. And if you win one, you're probably good. We've talked about this, and you brought this point up. You win one, you're probably good. You win two, you're good. You're in the field. But right now, with how significant that win was and how significant that shot from Britt Prince was with 7 seconds left on the clock, is now they're probably, if she doesn't make that shot, they're probably on the outside looking in. And now that she made it, they're currently in the field, you would hope, from projections.
And Amy Williams, this is a team that they've gone on some special runs in the Big Ten tournament here over the last few seasons. And so hopefully they can get it rolling again and get a couple wins and feel not have to wait around. Because the thing about the women's basketball and the scheduling of it is there's a week in between from when the Big Ten tournament is played and then Selection Sunday. And so you have to wait around for an entire week wondering if you're in, what are we practicing for the NCAA tournament? And so it's especially if you're a bubble team, it is not fun. And so hopefully if you can win against Rutgers and then you get a couple wins in the Big Ten tournament, you feel really good going into Selection Sunday. And look, this is why they've, and we talked to Amy about this back in November, December, about why they schedule, who they schedule, kind of a little bit like what we've talked about with Rhonda Revelle and the softball team. And look, they're very high in the net. And when you compare some teams that have gotten in that maybe quote unquote bubble teams in the past, Nebraska's resume is way better than a lot of bubble teams that have gotten in the past at this point. And so, but look, if you win a couple games in the tournament, in the Big Ten tournament, you feel really, really good going into that week before Selection Sunday.
Yeah, they'll get the benefit of the doubt because the Big Ten is so strong.
Yep.
So right there, that's really going to help this team going into Selection Sunday. Again, win big on Saturday and just it's in your control, I think, is the biggest point of everything.
All right. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Going to go ahead and get to a break, and we'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1 before we get to Fred Hoiberg and our Nebraska men's basketball hour coming up in hour number 2. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Lease the 2025 Cadillac Lyriq Luxury 3 for $699 a month for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year. Or receive up to $8,000 in savings on the 2025 Cadillac XT5 Luxury. Shop Woodhouse Cadillac today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. First payment $299 doc fee due at signing. Subject to current rebates and inventory. Stock number KK250401 is courtesy transportation vehicle with 2,649 miles. Stock number KK250527 is courtesy transportation vehicle with 1,323 miles. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Final segment here of hour number 1, and then we'll welcome in the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, here in for our Nebraska men's basketball hour. I took over for you this week because you were traveling and
appreciate that.
Going to be tired, and so I'm like, well, I'll do it for you.
That's you're a team player. You're galloping through the snow like Santa's reindeer to carry Sports Nightly, and you're carrying the show tonight. Not just this hour, but the next hour.
Well, you kind of are going to do it tomorrow
Yeah. We have Troy Dannon tomorrow,
Yep.
by the way. That leads to it. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, all these different sports. We'll have Keith Zimmer on the show as well.
That's fun.
Life skills. So he
We're
deals with
hoping
all
to
the Hall
get
of Fame
Coach
stuff.
Rule, too, out at practice, because since they're practicing in the afternoon, we're hoping that with the way that maybe the show is, we'll be able to run out there and grab Coach Rule out at the practice field.
Yeah, probably get him, just get a sort of a quick update. Probably won't be as lengthy as our last conversation of like 35 minutes. Probably be like a 5-minute deal as he's walking off the field and just sort of get his pulse on what he's seeing. Because we talk about these pieces before they actually come together. Now they've had a chance to be in the weight room together for a little bit, and now actually, tangible football on the field. Hopefully he has a good observation of what he's seeing.
So did you end up watching the hockey?
I did.
Yesterday?
I watched
You
third
gave me
period.
so much crap for watching all the Olympics. You finally tapped in on the last
count.
day.
This is like ultra casual observer Olympics. If you're watching that game, that doesn't count. I mean, everybody and their mother was watching that game yesterday. Nick Hanley's the one that reminded me the game was even taking place.
He's a big hockey guy.
Nick was watching. We were watching it while we were eating the hotel breakfast, and then I watched overtime in my hotel room. So awesome finish, classic first gold medal since 1980 for the U.S. You beat your arch rival in Canada, and they were just steaming as they got the silver medals around their neck. And USA's a hockey country all of a sudden.
Would you have continued on if you got your teeth knocked out?
I think you have to. It's a rite of passage as a hockey player,
Would you continue a broadcast if you got your teeth knocked out?
I think there's a good chance that might happen eventually, as Damon
By
has,
who?
as Jessica Coody comes back up the elevator from field level and just hits me with the right hook.
That's false.
Yes,
that's false. I would be the last person to.
Yeah,
knock your
I don't
teeth
think
out.
Damon would. I don't think Ben would. I think Damon almost did when he hit his head into the window at Maryland by accident. As he tried to look out the closed window, he went face first and almost knocked his teeth out.
I think he had a concussion.
He was concussed as could be. He didn't know where he was.
Yes. I'm so
he tried to look.
Forehead imprint was on the glass.
He tried to look out a completely sealed window and almost smashed it with his head.
Oh, that was funny. Hey, I tried to do this for the people. I tried to get a round table with Ben and David to tell stories of the season.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
It didn't work out because they have kids that got sick. It's going around. Apparently, everybody.
Zinc. Take zinc. That's what I do. I've started taking zinc a little bit. I've felt good. Knock on wood. Take your vitamin C. That's your note from Dr. Kyle.
I got sick twice in football season, and I usually never get sick that many times. And
Yeah, because you're running around, you're doing all this stuff. You got to stay on top of your zinc.
So it's going around, man. And I know, obviously, Burke Butangel was sick and missed on Saturday. So we'll get an update on him coming up next hour. Also, Jamarcus Lawrence went down, and so we'll hopefully have an update on him. But this is the time of the year, 4 games now, that you hopefully start getting guys fully back healthy.
Yeah, I was watching the game, obviously, and then I looked away. I didn't even see the Lawrence injury. And then all of a sudden they went back to the studio and said, a Lawrence injury would be costly for Nebraska. I looked at it and said, what happened?
Yeah, tweaked the ankle, so he went back to the locker room. I think he's going to be all right, but we'll hear from Coach Hoiberg, get an official update here coming up in the next few minutes on him and Berkeley as well. But hopefully, Braden Frager also finally feeling healthy as well. He had a great game. He started in place of BK on Saturday, so that was good to see. So we'll dive into all of that. Big win to get back in the win column, and just 2 home games left. And then
That's it.
Home game on Wednesday, and they hit the West Coast trip, and then back at home. So crazy. All right, got to get to a break, but when we come back, it's time for our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. The head coach, Fred Hoiberg, will join us here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
It's time for the Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
Blackwood with the ball, driving right past Sanford. Intercepted pass by Hoiberg. Down the floor to Lawrence. Lawrence gathers himself, puts it up and in, laid it over the lip of the rim. Could have had our amigos dunk there had he wanted it.
It was close.
Quality possession now, boys. Hoiberg drives it all the way in, kicks it. Sanford three. Bang, 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 a bang-a-ranga.
Thing of beauty. The crossover by Sammy, the defensive collapse, and finds Price wide open in the right corner.
6 threes on the game for Price Sanford. Rebound, Nebraska. Here comes Hoiberg off that board from Garcia. Off to Sanford. This would be a career high. Got it! Career high 33. Price Sanford rings the bell. Bang! Bang-a-rang!
Now, here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly, and time for our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. I'm Jessica Coody, joined by the head coach, Fred Hoiberg. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you, Jessica. How you doing?
Good. Sitting in for Kyle this week. He was busy calling baseball, so figured I'd help him out this week. But congrats getting back in the win column with the win over Penn State.
Yeah, it was a good one. Our guys did a good job bouncing back from obviously a very tough loss on the road, and emotional in a heated environment, and found a way to get back and turn the page, which was big for our guys to come back and take care of home court. Thought our crowd was really good, early start, and our guys got off to a great start.
No Burke in this one, so Braden Frager gets the start, and you could kind of tell immediately he was all over the offensive glass.
Yeah, it was a big game for Braden, and we got pretty late word on BK. He was actually just about ready to go out for his warm-up, and he had been sick. So 2 days before the game, he did not practice. He came in, he started throwing up. We sent him to the doctor, got him home, got him on some meds, and then came in the day before the game and was fine. He practiced, was there for shoot-around that morning in the film session. And then when he came back, he was just about ready to go out for his warm-up with about 60 on the clock and started throwing up again. So we sent him home, and then Braden got late word that he was going to get in there. And I did think he set the tone. I thought it was a great job by him. And I thought Jared Garcia really went in there, and when Braden got his second foul, did a really good job with his physicality. And that's what we need from Jared. We need him to go in there and play with force and play with pace. And I thought he did that. Rink had a tough first half, so we put Leo Curtis in there to play the last 5 or 6 minutes, and I thought he and Jared together played really well, and that was an important stretch when we pushed that thing up. I think to 18 is what the lead was at halftime, and really we never looked back. You
mentioned that Jared Garcia was probably his best week of practice. What did you see throughout practice that made it so good for him leading up to that game?
I think the biggest thing is he got in for extra work, extra film, did a lot of the things that are necessary when he's playing the role that he is, to be ready when your name is called. And you never know when that's going to be. That's the one thing about that. When you're a little bit kind of teetering, being in and out of the rotation, you have to do everything in your power to keep yourself ready when your name is called. And that's what I'm really proud of Jared, with all the extra work. He was getting in really early. He's watching extra film with all the coaches. And then he took advantage of that time. And we're going to need Jared. We're going to need him in the postseason. Again, Leo, I thought, gave us great minutes as well. Gave Rink an opportunity to catch his breath, to get his composure, and Rink was much better in the second half. Really got back to who he is.
Price, career high 33 points. He continues to just be all over the record books. Now he's up there with the single game three-pointers made with 8 in that game. But it was one of those games in the beginning like he couldn't miss. Like, that's sort of the best feeling in the world as a shooter,
honestly,
isn't it?
I think the only one he missed was probably his most open look.
Yeah.
But we found him a lot in transition. I thought he and Sam had great chemistry. Sam ended up with, I think it was 10 assists in that game, and a lot of those really were to Price, and we had great recognition of where he was when he got it going. We've got different flow plays based on where he is on the court, where we don't have to actually call in action. It's just wherever Price is, we're going to go find him. And that to me, we were 1.74 points per possession in transition, and we only had a 6% turnover rate on our transition possessions. In our losses, I talked about this the day before the game in the media, our turnover percentage is 22% in transition. We always talk about playing with pace, but playing with smart pace. And I thought for the most part on Saturday we did that.
First career double-double for Sam with the 11 points and 10 assists. Those 10 assists, a career high. I chatted with Rink after the game, and I guess they were joking in the locker room, well, when Price can't miss and 6 of those assists are to Price, then it kind of helps the cause. But, I mean, he finds him when Price, and he hits him in the pocket too. Price was telling me about that too earlier in the season. Just he hits him right where he needs to. So when you talk about that quick release, it just is right where he needs it.
Yeah, and we do talk a lot about pass quality. And as a shooter, you really want to lead the player into it in your shooting pocket, and we work on that. We work on that in practice. The thing I thought we did, the other exceptional thing that we did, I thought, was making smart paint decisions. We didn't try to challenge their bigs. Penn State does have length in the paint, on their front line. And when we got the ball in the paint, we did not try to challenge those guys. We took very few contested paint twos, which is one of our least efficient shots that we take. So just getting the ball in there, I thought we played off 2 feet for the most part, and then we sprayed it out and got it to our shooters.
For Sam, and we talk a lot about this on the TV show, I mean, he fills up the stat sheet, and he really, from wire to wire, has been one of the best in the country at assist-to-turnover ratio. What stat impresses you the most with what he's done this year?
I think probably that, Jessica, is the assist-to-turnover ratio. If I'm not mistaken, he's either leading the country or
he's leading now.
He's leading the country in that category. That's such a huge thing for us. We've done a good job. Our basket assist rate is very high, and if we can get our guys making simple plays, Sam's not overly flashy. I thought, one of the best plays he made is when he drove it down the slot and made a left-hand pass to Price and did a great job getting to what we call the hammer spot over there in the corner, and he found him. The other one was we got the ball tipped around a little bit. We got it in the paint, and Sam just kicked it out to Price on the wing. Those aren't fancy plays. Those aren't probably going to get you on SportsCenter, but they're very important. The simple plays, hitting singles, we talk a lot about that. And I think that's what Sam has done a really good job of, not playing in a crowd and, for the most part, making the right play.
Where has his game grown the most over his career? Because it seems like from the start, people talked about him being a menace defensively, even when he was on the scout team. So he's always good defensively. But where have you seen him grow the most over the last 4 years?
I think the biggest area Sam has grown is with his confidence. And that's the thing that I've seen is he's takes and makes big shots for us now, and he's not afraid to go up there and shoot it, even the semi-contested ones, which he was passing up earlier in the year. I think he just dipped under 40% in the last game when he missed both of his threes, but he got that thing up. He had a really good stretch of shooting the basketball, and obviously to have to account for him now, that allows him to do what he does best, which is penetrate, get in the paint, and find his teammates. For Price, too, talked about him moving up the record books, but, man, he's going to completely smash the single season record, and for him to do it at Iowa, pretty special. But the way that teams are trying to keep him from doing it, he has to work so hard to be able to do that. But then he does it at such a high efficiency rate, over 40%. How impressive is just what he's done to be able to put his name already at the top of the record books and to do it so efficiently. Yeah, and people don't understand he takes a very high degree of difficulty on his shots, and that's the thing that's most impressive, to be able to shoot over 40% when you're taking that difficult a shot. And that shows you how quick his release is, because he's getting hounded all over the floor. The other thing I thought Price did a really good job of is creating contact on his off-ball movement, where we got a couple foul calls on that. And that's important when you get into the bonus, be able to get to the free throw line. Those outside shots are always easier when you can knock down a couple free ones. Have you found, because I know you had talked about this earlier, but when he's trying to get open and all of that, have you found the calls, has that improved, I guess, in the freedom of movement and him being able to get open? Sometimes. we got a couple calls in the last game. The game before that we did not. So, a lot of it's just the crew and how the game is being called. But again, I thought Price did a good job of selling it, getting into the body and, creating that contact and drawing a couple fouls. I know you talked to Kent about this in your pregame, just about submitting the calls, and I won't get you in any trouble, I promise. But in terms of just the coaches' challenge, we see at the NBA level that you can challenge fouls. Do you want to see that at the college level? I think that would be a good change, and maybe that will come. That's hopefully the next change that we can see. The thing I don't like is we had 2 challenges at Iowa that were blatant off their defenders, and we had to use our challenges. So I didn't have another challenge. If you win one, you get one more. And even if you win that one, that's it. You don't get an opportunity to challenge, and a call could come down to a last couple seconds.
Right.
And if you've already used your challenges, you don't get the other one. So to me, that's a rule change that has to be that one has to be changed. And I even talked to the official about that, and he agreed with me in the game the other night.
Because in other sports, if you get it back, you don't lose it if you
challenge. Yeah, and you get it back the one time. If you lose your first challenge, that's it. You don't get the other one, and you lose a timeout. So yeah, that's the one to me that needs to be changed.
Has that been something that you've had to learn throughout the course, especially in these close games, of when you use them and when you don't?
Yeah, I mean, the one at Iowa was the second half, obviously a low possession game, back and forth, so we felt like we had to use it there. And, again, I think it's only, 5 times that we've actually challenged this year, maybe 6. But, yeah, it does. It goes through your mind because, again, you don't have that one at the end of the game if you need it.
Because, again, obviously the screen call on rink, had that been reviewable in those low possession games, and at that moment that was such a huge call, probably would have been nice to challenge a foul call.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, because that one, it was a 2-point game at the time with, I think, a minute 2 left, and rink was completely 100% set. And that one on the over and back, that's another one that obviously would have liked to be able to challenge. But again, it's not there yet, Jessica, and hopefully that changes.
On that note, though, going back to Price and what he's done, shout out, because we see the highlights every week on the TV show. I've learned so much kind of watching that, but your guys do a really good job of getting him open, too.
They do. I thought we screened really well in that game on Saturday. We got him a couple, freed him up for a couple out-of-bounds plays. Those are huge, and you talk a lot about winning the special teams games. And, when we got Price loose for a couple of those threes and really open ones, Rink set a great screen on him on the one. And I think it was Jared and Leo got him a good look on another one. So those are big. We got Braden a dunk in the Iowa game on a baseline out of bounds, especially when you're struggling to score. Those are huge when you can manufacture some points on your out of bounds plays.
22 assists on 32 made field goals. You got to like that too.
Yeah, again, a lot of those were in transition, and 11 turnovers, which that's really what Penn State does. They pressure you all over the floor, and I thought a couple of those were late. Still a couple too many, I think, Jessica, unforced ones. We got to start eliminating those if we want to continue on with what we're doing.
All right, got to get to a break. More with the head coach coming up right after this. The Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people.
Over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall? Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. I'm Jessica Coody with the head coach, Fred Hoiberg. Coach, I know you probably didn't know this, but they had the baby races, the annual baby races on Saturday while you guys were in the locker room. But one of the timeouts, they put up baby pictures of some of your guys and of you. Did you know that?
I did not.
They put up a baby picture of yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I think the crowd got it wrong because you could tell by the reaction that they did not know who it was.
Okay.
But they also had a picture of Sam. Would you have been able to pick out the difference between Sam and Charlie?
Sam had a little bit bigger colic in his hair when they were kids, but when we shaved him down pretty tight, it was very, very hard to tell them apart.
It was pretty funny though. It was kind of a fun feature seeing all.
Now, were they together?
Guys.
Were they together on their picture?
No, they didn't. But I thought it would be kind of funny if we should probably put pictures up maybe sometime for you and see if you could tell them all apart.
Yeah,
challenge you.
I would take that challenge.
But no, I just didn't know if you were aware that there was a baby picture of you up on the big screen.
I did
Saturday.
not. I'm pretty locked in on those timeouts. So,
well, I didn't know if you supplied it to the.
I didn't. No,
guys.
that wasn't me. It was either my wife or my mother. So.
Oh, it was a fun day. But again, you've talked a lot about this, but just the atmosphere and just everything that goes into it. It's been pretty special. Hey, only 2 left. It's hard to believe.
Isn't that crazy? That's the thing about this season that has just blown me away is how fast it has gone. And yeah, it's been, I know I've talked a lot about this, Jessica. It really has been one of the more enjoyable seasons that I've ever had in this profession. And, there's certain teams you look back on that are just really special because of what they're all about, how they approach things on every day, their daily habits. And this team is up there at the top. So it's really been fun. We got 4 games left, and I know we got a long ways to go with this thing, with the postseason tournaments. It's nice not to be sweating at this time, hoping other teams lose. We do control our own destiny, which is nice, and we got to continue to get better. And that's what we did in our film session this morning. We had the day off yesterday. We cleaned up from the Penn State game. Still some mistakes that are being made that we need to grow on. And then we had a first look on a very talented Maryland team. This Maryland team is playing by far their best stretch of basketball. They've won 3 of 5. They beat Iowa in that stretch. They won at Minnesota. They won their last game Saturday, which was against Washington. This is a team that does a lot of things really well.
So on Saturday, the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee also announced the top 16 teams, Nebraska coming in at 11. You talk about that, too, just controlling your own destiny. It's also, too, nice knowing that you guys, if you take care of business, you're going to get a pretty good seed, which you've been a part of teams that's an advantage going into that. Yeah,
absolutely. You want, obviously, the higher the seed, the better you are as you go into the tournament, but also knowing you're going to play a really good team and, well-coached teams at that time of year. Again, it's all about continuing to take care of us. We talk a lot about that. You go through all the other teams, their plays, what they do, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, how you're going to attack them on the other end, what you're going to do, their offensive rebound percentage. They turn over teams a lot. So we go through all that. But at the end of the day, it's all about us. Are we going to go out there and continue to do the things, the little things that have made us a relatively successful team this year? If we do those things, generally we have a very good chance of winning.
You mentioned the turnovers before we went to break, and you had a couple of games where you guys had more turnovers than are typically characteristic of this team. What were the issues there, and how do you make sure that that's not something that continues to happen?
Well, I thought going to the Northwestern game first, we had 10 at halftime. 10 for us a lot of times was a game, and a lot of those were really careless plays. They were switching everything. They were running through passing lanes, and we just continued to throw the ball to them. And not only but the live ball turnovers, those are the ones that are maddening, Jessica, because they generally turn into a pick six basket on the other end. And, once we got settled down and got back to being who we are and getting our movement and playing through rink and getting the ball to the elbow, we had some really good possessions. But, when you're giving the other team, Purdue is really where it started. We had 14 turnovers and we gave them 1 million offensive rebounds. When you're giving the team that many extra bullets, it's really hard to win.
Are you guys, I'm sure you're diving into that in the film and kind of they're recognizing and seeing exactly what they're doing and really for every turnover, I'm sure.
We do, yeah. We watched every turnover. We watched every offensive rebound in that Purdue game, and that was a really long film session after really failing in those two areas. And then going into the next game with Northwestern, we did the same thing, but we found a way to bounce back and win that one. And in Purdue, we found a way to start taking care of it, and then we got back into it after being down 22. And the thing about that, Jessica, all that being said, we still had a free throw to win that game. Then you go on the road at Iowa, and that was as hostile an environment as we've ever played in. And, I talked about this with Price. I was really proud of how tough you have to be to play in that type of environment, going back to a place where you played 2 years, where your brother, is one of the best players to play in that program, and to have to deal with that was very difficult for Price, but he handled it like a champ. Really proud of him. Still had a chance to win that game, but just too many mistakes in that one, Jessica.
Are you issuing a challenge for Husker fans for when Iowa comes back here?
They're going to be charged up. I don't think I have to issue a challenge. They're going to be revved up on Wednesday night, and then I know our last game on senior night, I know our fans are going to be here in a big way.
The physicality part of it, if that continues to be a trend, what has your group learned and how to better handle those types of situations?
Yeah, I thought we were obviously a lot better against Penn State, and a lot of it was in transition. We did a great job on the glass, which got us out in transition, and that really got us confident, I thought, is when we got some of those easy ones. We got rink or rim run, which was great, and then obviously Price got really freed up on a lot of those transition possessions. And yes, Penn State is a pressure team, but I thought we screened really well, and our movement was really on point.
I think it's been pretty impressive that you've had multiple games where you have not had a pretty big piece, and you've either won games or have been right there in games, and you did it again without Alburke. What is it about this group that they continue, even when you're shorthanded, to find ways to win or be right there in games?
Yeah, it's really what it's all about. And, we obviously those guys are getting a lot of reps and practices, the guys that even aren't in the rotation, the guys that aren't playing. And we have confidence in those guys, and they showed that, listen, what Jared Garcia showed me, what Leo Curtis showed me, is you can count on them in big game moments. Leo did it in Michigan. Jared, one of the most important wins we had this year, gave us unbelievable. We don't win that Illinois game without him, and we don't win the game the other day without those guys against Penn State, especially with BK out. So yes, it's really important for those guys to keep themselves ready. And again, I'm really proud of how they've done that.
All right, got to get to a break. One more segment here with the head coach on our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Keep it here.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Now's the time to save on trucks at Woodhouse Chevy. Lease the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cab 4x4 for $399 a month. Or save up to $10,000 off MSRP on retired courtesy 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s when financed through dealer. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $299 doc fee, due at signing. Retired courtesy loaners, qualifying trade-in of 2011 or newer vehicle. Lease for 39 months, 10,000 miles plus first payment. Finance based on manufacturer rebates. Expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. Got one final segment here with the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, and then we're going to hear from Leo Curtis. Had a chance to chat with him, and Coach, what a neat guy. I hadn't had a chance to interview him yet, and it was really fun talking to him. He played soccer till he got too tall, but it's crazy that he's pretty new to this sport and another guy with a pretty high upside.
Absolutely. A very bright future. He really put himself on the map with the under-19 World Championships this past year, and he played great for his Icelandic team. And, kind of a, his last name's Curtis. Most males in Iceland have the son on the end of it, like Thorbjarn's son. So he's Thorbjarn's son, and that's how they ended. If they're the girl, they put daughter on the end of their name. So I asked Leo, how come you're not Curtis' son? And apparently his dad is from Scotland, so he's got some Scottish blood in him as well, which, as in our family, my wife's father was from Scotland. So we're actually really both excited about the World Cup coming up because Scotland actually qualified for the World Cup this year, and they're playing in Boston. We were trying to make it work out, but we've got day camp, so I'm not going to be able to make it out for that game. But yes, getting back to Leo, he's got an unbelievably bright future. And I think you saw his stroke the other day. He had an open three, shot it, hit every part of the rim, unfortunately bounced out. But he can pass it, can rebound it, had a great finish. We were really struggling in the paint with a couple of finishes early in that game, but Leo got free, made a great pump fake in there, took his time, and had a good finish. But he showed the same thing at Michigan. I mean, how about that? The kid hadn't played probably in about 10 games, and he goes out there without skipping a beat, plays against an NBA front line, and did a great job holding his own.
For as tall as he is and as late as he got into basketball, his footwork is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he has really good footwork, has a nice stroke, is like I said, he's got good skill. He can protect the rim. He's got good timing when he can go up and block shots. So he's got a chance to be special when it's all said and done.
You talk about the World Cup. Did you watch much of the Olympics?
I watch. I get into that stuff. I like, whether I'm laying on the couch at 4 a.m, I'll flip it on and watch.
It was on at 4
and watch
in the
curling.
morning.
I know it was. It was good. Or watch the half pipe or whatever it is. It's amazing how they come up with those events. The 2-man luge. I mean, come on, who came up with that one? And then you got I love the bobsledding and the skeleton. I mean, but again, who comes up with these events? It's incredible.
I know, and I mean, I like both the summer and winter, but it was pretty fun to watch all of it. But it's crazy how there's not as many different sports, but there's just so many different versions within the sports.
It really is. I got up early and watched the gold medal hockey game on our day off. That was incredible. I mean, those saves that that goalie made, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. All right, so getting back to basketball, Jamarcus Lawrence, we saw him go down. How is he doing? How is he progressing?
Well, I think he was okay today, but he actually came in with a bout of the flu. He had to get up during our film session. We sent him to the doctor. So we just, knock on wood here, I just hope it's going to not go through the whole team. But we were battling a little bit that. I know a lot of teams are at this time of year. And again, that's why you keep your guys ready, for worst case scenario and situations like a few times have happened to us. But yeah, he's the ankle I think was going to be okay. I don't know if he was going to do live today, but he was certainly going to do the non-contact portion, and then we'll see how he's doing tomorrow. But the other guy that's doing a lot better is Braden, and I thought physically and even in talking to him, he felt 100% for the first time since the injury, and you can tell he's really been favoring it. I give him a lot of credit for battling through some soreness. You can tell his shot's been a little bit off with his balance, but he got back to being on point in that last game against Penn State.
So I know you're all in on Maryland, but then you have your West Coast trip. Do you like the way the schedule sets up this year where the West Coast trip's kind of here at the end?
It is what it is, Jessica. You can complain and bitch and moan about your schedule. That's not going to do any good. So, you play the schedule that they put in front of you, and, it just happens to be for us this year at the end. The thing that I don't like, because we play it's a 10 p.m. Central Time game against UCLA, so we're going to stay over as opposed to getting back at 5 or 6 in the morning and fly back that next day. You can't use an off day as a travel day, which is ridiculous. So we're going to come in on the travel day and walk through film cleanup from the UCLA game, and then we have to take that next day off, which will give us 2 days to prepare for that last game against Iowa. But that first game back from the West Coast West Coast trip is always a tough one.
You know, you've talked some about just this time of year, and a lot of it is getting all your guys healthy and all your kind of weapons full go. But when you try to get your team playing their best basketball right now at this time of the year, what goes into that? How do you get a team clicking on all cylinders?
It's really just it's all about all the things you've been doing all year. I talked about this the other day. We don't need to go out and reinvent the wheel right now. We just need to get better at the things that have made us a successful basketball team and build off of those things. It's our guys, when we have good movement, when we take care of the ball and we finish off possessions, we're pretty tough to beat. We're very vulnerable when we go out there and don't play with the pace and purpose that we need to. And when we struggle on the glass, that's when we're in trouble.
One of the things I have not asked you about, but we've talked a little bit about it on the TV show, but where does this team rank among some of the better ones at executing inbounds plays? Because we seem to show a lot of those highlights on the TV show.
Yeah, this team does a good job. Last year, actually the year before, we were really good. CJ made a lot of threes off our inbounds plays. Casey obviously made a lot of threes on inbounds plays. We've run a couple ISO-type actions for Rink this year that we've added. We'll actually set a small on big ball screen for Rink, and then at the end of the day, we'll curl Braden off a lot and try to get Price freed up. We use Price as a screener a lot on our inbounds plays.
It helps too. You got good passers that are inbounders in Sam and Jamarcus, right?
Yeah. Well, you need a good decision maker and a trigger man, obviously. And Kale he plays in that spot a lot of times as well. And all three of those guys are, I think, very good decision makers.
All right, let's wrap things up with you. Final few minutes. Maryland coming up on Wednesday night. Tell us about that matchup and what it looks like for you guys.
Yeah, really, really tough team that they play with a lot of confidence. You can look at their overall record, what it is, but it's all about when you play a team. And as I said earlier, this team's won 3 out of 5. And 3 really impressive wins. They run a lot of different defenses. They'll 2-2-1 back to a 2-3 zone. They'll 2-2-1 back to a tandem zone. They'll 1-2-2 back to a 3-2 zone, and then they'll play a switching either 1-4 or 1-5 man defense. So you just have to prepare for so much with them, and you can just see how much better they've gotten at all those as the season has gone on. They got a kid, Mills, who's a redshirt freshman that is just killing it right now. They've got a player, Coit, that's had 240-plus scoring games. And then, again, the rebounding, that's where the game is going to be won or lost, is on the boards.
Do you have a Rolodex of whatever defense you're going to play that you tap into, or do you design it for any given team that you have, what works best?
Yeah, I mean, we have plays, obviously, that we prepare for when you play. We faced some zone in the last game. I thought we did a really nice job of getting shots. Price hit a couple threes against it. Braden hit a 3 against it, and this one's a little bit different than the zones that we have faced. Minnesota played a couple possessions of zone where we hit shots, but this one, again, they play 3 different ones. That's the challenge, is you have to prepare for all the different ones, and then they may not play any of them, but you still have to prepare. You have to get ready for whatever you're going to face, and then just go out and execute to the best of your ability.
All right, and I know, again, you're all in on Maryland, but we won't have you in. So how about USC on Saturday? What does that matchup look like?
I haven't really dug into them a lot, but I've seen some of the games as we prepared for other teams that they've played. Unbelievably talented roster. Arenas has recently gotten back into the lineup after having an injury, and ultra talented player, 5-star player, Gilbert Arenas' son. Baker Mazzara is one of the more unique players in our league. Osser is that's just a big, strong, physical, tough kid. And then they've got shooting and talent around it. So, again, I haven't seen a ton of USC yet, but I know it's one of the more talented rosters in our league.
At this point, with just what's left, and I get people asking me all the time, seeding, and where could this team go? And I know for you guys, is it just, hey, we just got to play one game at a time, and everything else will work itself out?
Yeah, you can't skip steps. You can't get ahead of yourself. If you do in this league, you're in trouble. I thought our guys did a great job. Again, I talk a lot about this in our business, the importance of getting over big wins and also tough emotional losses. And that was a tough emotional loss that we had against Iowa. And, our guys found a way. They showed good resolve and bounced back and had a big win against Penn State. Now it's about getting over that one and getting ourselves ready for Maryland.
All right. Great stuff. As always, appreciate you stopping by, and best of luck coming up on Wednesday night.
Okay, thank you.
And that was the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, here with us on our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. Keep it here. Coming up next, we're going to hear from the freshman, Leo Curtis, on our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour.
Get behind the wheel of America's favorite truck from Woodhouse Ford. Lease the Ford F-150 Super Crew for $389 a month for 36 months and 7,500 miles per year. First payment and $299 dock fee due at signing. Or save up to $15,000 off MSRP. Shop Woodhouse Ford online or in-store in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth today. With approved credit, security deposit waived, tax, title, license extra. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loan. Offers expire March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Enhance your grilling game with the Nebraska-made grill from M Grills. Wood pellet and charcoal grills made to last with Nebraska values. Check them out at mgrills.com, a proud supporter of Husker Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment here of our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour. I'm Jessica Coody. Appreciate the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, spending some time with us here tonight. And for our final segment here, got a fun one for you. I recently had a chance to sit down and have a conversation with the 7'2" freshman forward, Leo Curtis, out of Iceland. And very interesting story of how he got into basketball and then being recruited here. He actually grew up a fan of some guys that played here from Iceland. But, you know, going back to the big minutes he played at Michigan when the Huskers dang near knocked off the number one team in the country at Michigan. And with Rink out, he came in, provided some minutes off the bench and some big minutes. And then, of course, on Saturday against Penn State, his number was called and was able to provide some big minutes for this team, as you heard Coach Hoiberg talking about. So they're going to need him moving forward for whatever it might be in these next 4 games, also maybe in an NCAA tournament run. So however many minutes it might be, whatever the role might be, they're probably going to need Leo Curtis, but I had a chance to chat with him and learn more about his story and how he got here to Lincoln. Well, we welcome in Leo Curtis. I'm excited to get to have a conversation with you. How's it going?
It's going good.
How has it been settling in here at Nebraska?
I think it's been really good. Like, I like this place, and just being here is kind of good.
So we haven't had a chance to talk with you here on our radio network. Take me back through your recruiting process and why you felt like Nebraska was a good fit for you.
So last year I played prep school in Boston, and I was recruited by different colleges, and initially I committed to ASU, but I had to decommit in, I think it was late April, maybe start of May, and that's when I started looking at other schools, and Nebraska was one of them, and they kind of just stayed on top. They just kept recruiting me, and I liked what they offered, so that's how I ended up here.
You talked about what Coach Hoiberg is able to do with his big guys. What did you like in how he develops his bigs and how he utilizes them?
So he showed me like some film of rink, and I thought I could see myself like playing how he does, and I think it's the right place to. I think he's the right coach to develop bigs like me. So it was a good fit for me.
What has it been like being a teammate with Rink?
It's great. Like I can learn a lot from him and how he is, and he's like a professional. So he's a good role model for someone new coming in.
So you started playing basketball late. How did you even get into playing basketball?
So I was playing soccer since I was really little. And when I think I was like 15, almost 16, I think I was 6'8" or 6'7", and I thought like I'm almost too tall for soccer, so I thought I'd try basketball, and I liked it, so I stayed with it.
Have you felt like, because a lot of people have said that you can tell your footwork is good. Have you felt like the soccer background has helped with your footwork on the basketball court?
Yeah, I think it has helped for sure, and also like mobility, because in soccer you gotta use your feet a lot, and it kind of translated to basketball. So I think it has helped with like knowing how to move your feet, and also just how you move overall.
So what was it like then? You kind of come into the sport late, and then all of a sudden here come colleges in the United States wanting you to play for them. How was that process? What was that like for you, kind of working through that and realizing, oh man, I'm pretty good at this and I can maybe do something with this?
Yeah, when I started playing basketball, I was like really bad, and I was just trying it for fun since I was so tall, and I started getting better like for the first couple of years, and I liked it, so I started working harder, and it kind of just kept going, and I wasn't really the main decision I had to make 2 years ago was either going to Europe or the States. And before that, I always thought about going to Europe, but since like everybody is going to the States and stuff like that, now I went to a prep school and all the colleges started recruiting me, which was pretty cool. I didn't really know how it was gonna go before I moved out.
So what has Nebraska been like? What's been the biggest adjustments living in Nebraska?
I started by moving to Boston, which was also way different from Iceland, so I had like a little bit of a head start. But Nebraska is also way different. It's just everything is kind of different. Like the people are different, and just how you live.
We talked about Coach Hoiberg and how he develops, and especially his bigs. What have you learned? How have you grown already just in the not even year that you've been here in his system?
I think the first thing is like my basketball IQ is probably a little bit better, and knowing how to use what I have. And he's been helping me working on my shot, which I think is getting better. And then also coming here in Nebraska, we have like a great strength training program and a coach, which like I've been able to transform my body a lot since I got here, which I think translates a lot to the court.
It was funny because when you said you first started playing basketball, you said I wasn't very good. What kept you coming back?
I like when I started seeing I was getting better. That's what I loved about it. Like when I started to get a little bit better, I realized like how fun it is to get better. So I kind of just tried to get even more better, and it just went on from there.
That's awesome. Okay, so take me back to the Michigan game. You guys know that Rink's not available. You come in, and Coach Hoiberg was so happy with your minutes. What was your approach to coming in there and being ready when your number was called?
I've tried to stay ready just throughout the season, because you never know what happens. And this was a game, so I just did what I've been doing in like practice and stuff like that. So not sure how.
You felt ready. You felt ready for it. No, that was.
You just gotta try to stay ready, and like no matter the game, if it's a small D1 team or Michigan.
Yeah, no, that's great. So then, what was it like when you were able to provide that? You provided a spark. So how good did that feel when you were able to provide that for this team?
It felt good during the game until we lost in the end. It was kind of felt good to be able to like play meaningful minutes in the game, and it was really tough to lose this one because we wanted it so bad. So, yeah.
What has it been like being a part of this team and in this locker room? You guys seem really close and like you have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, I think it's a really like together team, which is really important. Like everybody kind of knows their role, and like everybody puts the team in like their interest. Like everybody puts the team first. I mean,
Coach Hoiberg talks about when you guys had team meals, you have to put your phone away, right? How much does that help getting to know each other?
I think it helps for sure. Like we speak more and talk more to each other rather than just staying on our phone. Yeah.
And learning about where you come from and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What about Pinnacle Bank Arena and Husker Nation? What has that been like for you?
I love it. That's probably the biggest difference, or like from especially last year in Boston, we were playing games and there was nobody there. Back in Iceland, like my club, I loved the fans there, but there weren't as many, never. So being in Pinnacle Bank Arena is amazing, seeing so many people and coming to every single game.
Again, the freshman forward, Leo Curtis, I really enjoyed chatting with him, a fun conversation there. But again, going to be important piece of depth piece for this team moving forward as they close out the season, move into the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament. And next up for Nebraska men's basketball, we will not be on the air again because we will have a basketball game for you, broadcast coming up, 6 o'clock tip on Wednesday against Maryland, 5 o'clock pregame show for Kent Pavelka and Jeff Smith right here on the Huskers Radio Network. But we do have a big show coming up for you here tomorrow night on Sports Nightly. It's our monthly athletic director show with Troy Dannon. He will be here with us in our first hour. Kyle Crooks, Troy Dannon here from 6 to 7. So lots to get into there with the AD. And then in hour number 2, the head coach Amy Williams will be joining us. A huge win for Nebraska women's basketball at Washington on Sunday. Britt Prince knocking down the 3 to give the Huskers the win. And they've got senior day coming up this week. So we'll be able to dive in with Amy Williams as they still fight to get into the NCAA tournament. Lot to play for here for Amy Williams' crew. So we'll be able to chat with her about that. So big 2 hours coming up for you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly. So we will talk to you then. Thanks to Josh Hilkeman for making this thing go. For Kyle Crooks and also Fred Hoiberg, thanks for joining us earlier as well. We will talk to you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly. Thanks for listening.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Find a truck that's ready for any task at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab 4x4. Visit us in-store or shop online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must own and trade in a 2012 or newer vehicle. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org